Shalom.
Shalom.
It's the end of Shabbat, so as the good book says, as it dawned toward the first day, right? I'm your brother Azrael from the Hopeful Elect.
Brother Donna.
From the Hopeful Elect, coming to give you guys a lesson, an exhortation, right? A video to encourage the people, encourage the nation, giving all glory and honor to the Most High by the way of his Son, who is an instrument of salvation to his people, as we read in Luke 1:68 on down. Today we're going to talk about keep thine integrity, because a lot of Israelites, brothers and sisters of Negro descent, Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going through it, with the jobs, going through it with money, going through it in relationships. A lot of us is going through it, you know what I'm saying? So this video is on keep thine integrity, right? Keep thine integrity. Because it doesn't matter what happens. We went over today outside when we went to camp earlier today. We were breaking down the truth to the dude, and he was like, "Man, I'm receiving everything y'all said, but it's gonna be hard, man, and it's not gonna be fast. It's gonna be hard." And I was like, "Yeah." So we went through Galatians 5:22, went down the fruits of the spirit, and that one of the fruits of that spirit that we're supposed to have is long suffering. Supposed to have long suffering with each other, long suffering in this truth. We also went to Hebrews 11:1 and told them about faith, because we have to have hope, and to have faith and have hope, that takes patience. So we also went to Revelation as well, 13, and we went and talked about the patience of the saints. All right, so we got to keep our integrity through our patience, through our trials, through our tribulation, through our works, because that's what makes us rich, right? According to Revelation 2:9. So how do we know, where do we learn about integrity? If we had to pick one book out of the Bible, what would you say we would go to for integrity? If I asked you, I know this is on the spot, but if I asked you, what would be a book that you go to?
For integrity?
Right. What about you, Foster?
For integrity?
Right. Speak up when you get your answer.
A book I would go to?
Right. Just off the top of your head. Don't think too deep.
Just like, as far as like... just
keeping your integrity, yeah.
I'd probably go to Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes? What about you?
I'd probably go to Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon? So he said you probably go to Ecclesiastes, Denal. And you said you would rather go to Wisdom of Solomon, Yeshaya, right? I'm going to go to Job, first of all, because Job kept his integrity, right?
Oh, Job, yeah.
I feel like that whole book, is about keeping your integrity. And he says it. So let's go to Job 27:5, right? Job 27:5. Because if we look at the story of Job, man, it said he did not curse God once. Satan, Hashatan, Ha meaning the, Shaitan meaning adversary, the adversary, right? Hashatan said, guess what? Surely if you take your hand or a hedge off of him, he'll curse you. You know what I'm saying? He'll sin against you. And he never cursed the Most High. Even though his wife told him to curse the Most High, he never cursed the Most High. Even though his kids was taken away, his cattle, his land, he had boils on his skin. He kept his what? His integrity. So let's read it.
You said 27 and what?
Right.
Top?
Sister said Proverbs. Proverbs, So all of y'all pretty much say that Solomon has the wisdom of integrity. Now, let me ask you this. Did Solomon have integrity? Did Solomon have integrity? Now, I recently read Ecclesiastes, and he pretty much was saying, through my falls and through everything I've learned, this is how I've gotten this wisdom. Right? He got wisdom because he prayed for it, but he also learned it through experience. You know what I'm saying? So he probably know about integrity.
He had integrity after a minute.
Right. It took him a minute to get integrity, but he learned about it and he got it.
I'll say he had integrity because he ended up accomplishing everything that he was supposed to accomplish.
No, that's not integrity.
I guess.
We're going to go into it. Let's read it. Job 27:5.
27:5.
Right.
God forbid that I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me.
Right. So Job says, hey, till I die, until you put me to death, I'm not going to remove my integrity. When you're in the world and you're playing sports, sometimes your fitness coach will be like, you're good, you're okay, keep going. And you'll be like, I'm finna die. And your fitness coach will be like, nah, keep going. Your body's gonna let you know when it's had enough. You'll get a full body cramp, you'll pass out, you'll black out, right? You'll start having seizures or something, but your body will let you know. Your mind might be weak, and your mind wanna give up, but your body's gonna keep integrity until you can't no more. So that's what Job is saying. Go ahead.
Salaki. Not only that, another exercise analogy, right? That you can clearly see is if you ever been on a basketball team, football team, even cheerleading, you know what I'm saying, dance or whatnot. There's one phrase that we all know, right? And that's right before practice, and it comes out, and the coach says, "Don't cut my corners. Don't you cut no corners." Even when the coach walks away, you have to maintain that integrity, right, to not cut the corners, right? In basketball, when we do suicides, right, touch every line. Right. You better touch every line. Even when the coach is not looking, right, you have to maintain that integrity to actually touch every line.
Right. And like the sister just brought out the water for that. This is the definition of integrity. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. And we know that Job was a what man? He was a perfect and upright man, right? So let's read this from the top one more time. 27 and 5.
This is Job 27 and verse 5. God forbid that I should justify you. Till I die will I not remove my integrity from me.
Right, so he's going to stay upright until he died. He's going to upstand the moral principles that God gave to him, the law, statutes, commandments, until he died. Right? That's
Who else did that? Christ. He was obedient to the point of death.
Right. And I was gonna get to that. Let's do the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53, start at verse 7. Right? So we went and got a consensus, right, from the live stream, from the brothers, that Solomon had wisdom on integrity. We see Job had integrity. Let's also look at Christ. Let's see if Christ had integrity, right? 53, starting at verse 7.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 53 and verse 7.
Right?
He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth.
Wait, no, he cursed everybody out.
He opened not his mouth.
So even though we're oppressed right now, and even though we get afflicted from affairs of this life, right? Like it tells us in, I believe it's 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1, right? Even though we're afflicted with the affairs of this life, we're supposed to keep our integrity as soldiers, right? Soldiers of the Lord. And so even though he was born out of wedlock, he was born in the slums in Bethlehem. He was born in same situations a lot of our people are born into, right? But he kept his integrity even though he was oppressed, right? Keep reading.
He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, right, and as a sheep before the shearers is dumb, so he opened not his mouth.
So he didn't curse nobody, man. He kept his integrity. He didn't give nobody a reason to say that he offended, right? He didn't give no reason of offense, right? Keep reading verse 8.
Verse number 8. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation?
So even though we're getting unlawfully locked up, even though we're going into prison, even though, you know what I'm saying, we're getting judged wrongfully, doesn't mean that we can lose our integrity. That don't mean that screw the white man, I'm going to start doing fraud. Screw the white man, I'm going to start getting money how I can. I'm going to start selling dope. That doesn't mean that. We got to keep our integrity, right? Keep reading.
Slut. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. For he was cut off out of the land of the living.
Go to verse 9. Isaiah 53, verse 9.
Verse 9. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death.
So even though some of us get sentenced to life in prison, even though some of us, you know what I'm saying, are counted as robbers and thieves, even though we didn't do nothing, we can't use that to get out of our spirit. We can't use that to leave our integrity, because we see Christ was oppressed. He made his grave with the wicked, even though he wasn't wicked, right? He was judged wrongfully and he never lost his integrity. Just like Job never lost his integrity, right? Keep reading.
Because he had done no violence.
No, he didn't do anything.
neither was any deceit in his mouth.
He kept his integrity and he did not let his situation change him. He didn't start lying on people. Well, he lied on me, so I'm finna lie on him. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't start, Slakia.
Yeah.
He didn't start just, you know what I'm saying, killing random people because he was angry because of how he was brought up. You don't understand, bro. I'm in a gang because of how I was brought up. No, you got to keep your integrity no matter what situation you're in.
Yeah. And I was going to say, man, and that's what a lot of Jake does, man. We see that we're going through the curses, and sometimes some of us make excuses for us being in the curse to have a lack of integrity. Like the brother said, to go and sell dope, right? Because we're being oppressed. Man, the white man made it no other choice but for me to sell dope, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're killing your people.
And we see that
right?
all the time on social media. Hey, look, the man finna push me to do something I don't want to do, but
right.
That's what they expect of me anyway.
Right. They'll even say stuff like this, right? They'll say stuff like, well, they took it from us, so we'll take it back from them, right? I know a brother, man. And not saying no names, but I think him and his rib, they stole a baby bag, a diaper bag, bro.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Folly.
I think
that's folly.
Yeah, I don't remember the brother's name.
You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie up on here.
But
you ain't gotta lie. Okay, it was me. It was me. And ironically, you know what I'm saying? The Most High is bringing out this keep your integrity, bro. But I didn't. First of all, and this is me trying to justify my folly. But first of all, I didn't steal no. Okay, I stole a diaper bag, bro. Okay, I did. But the barcode was not on it. The store was packed. The barcode was not on it. It was the last one on the shelf. And I was going to pay for it. I had the money to pay for it. So it's like I wasn't trying to do it out of ill intent. You know what I'm saying? I saw it as we're going to spoil those that spoiled us. But I should have kept my integrity like the brother's saying. You know what I'm saying? So I repent and confess my faults with my brother.
Because what did Christ say? Christ say, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Right. So you're right. I never repented for that. So, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for bringing that out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's read verse 10.
I forgot it was you, bro.
Oh my God. He lying now. He lying now. So now he got to repent.
I just knew it was some brother.
Now he got to repent. With that screenshot from way back when everybody was mad about Sakari, you repent, nigga. You repent. Now read verse 10.
Verse number 10. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He has put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul...
it said it what? It pleased the Lord to what?
To bruise him.
It pleased the Lord to bruise him. Right?
Yeah.
So guess what? When you're being oppressed, you're being bruised. When you're being stole from, you're being abused. When you're being judged, you're being abused.
And he said it pleased him.
Right.
Oh, there was this one guy who used to work out at the gym up the street, man. And he was a military ranger, man.
Hold up. Taylor, please do not incriminate yourself on here, bro. Please. You don't have to say it was your bag. Hey. We don't know. It could have been our bag.
Hey, allegedly.
Right? It could have been me.
Allegedly.
Hey, look. Hold up. My dad had put a precept on here. It says Proverbs 20:7. This just man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. So if you want blessed offspring, right? Keep your integrity. I want blessed offspring. So I'm confessing my faults right now when I lose my integrity, right? But if you want blessed children, you got to keep your integrity. A lot of brothers and sisters wonder why their kids are so bad. It's because you make up excuses to do wickedness.
Right.
You justify your folly. I put myself out, but you ain't got to put yourself out. Come on now.
Yeah.
But
just like that movie Mr. and Pete, man. You know what I'm saying? She thought that she lost her integrity, man, and she felt like she had no other option but to sell her body. Right. To look out for her kids and whatnot. She lost her integrity. Right. But just like the verse said, yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him, right? And so I was bringing out the instance when we used to go work out at Max Fitness, right? And there was a military ranger there. Every time he seen us, man, you know what I'm saying? He'd always look at us and he put a big smile on his face. He said, "You gotta smile through it, man. You gotta smile through the pain, man."
Right.
He be doing some crazy workouts, man.
And he made it look easy, but he told us he was dying inside.
Right. Just cheesing and laughing.
He was a ranger. So
it pleased him because he knew the end result.
So keep reading that. Read verse 10.
He has put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed.
Right, so check this out. Just like Christ was made an offering for sin and was being bruised, every time we're afflicted with the affairs of this life, We've signed up to make our bodies living sacrifices. So every time we're being afflicted, that's that offering being made to the Most High. That's that offering saying, yes, your son is worthy. Your daughter is worthy. We signed up. We prepared ourselves for this when we signed up to serve the Lord, right? So that's us keeping our integrity, right? We can rest right there. Go to Matthew 5:45, right? Because guess what? Evil things don't just happen to evil people. That's what the world would like you to believe, right? Sometimes evil things happen to good people. Sometimes the good people are the ones that suffer the most, right? Sometimes the people that you would least expect to have problems in their life be the ones that have the most problems in their life, right? So read this.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 45.
Right.
That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven.
What is the children? What's the child of God? What's the child of the Father? What's it going to look like, right? Read.
For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good.
Right. So guess what? The sun is interpreted as something good. The sun brings life, brings warmth. So guess what? He lets his sun shine on the evil people and the good people. He prolongs the life of the sinner, right? And he also will prolong the life and give favor and excellence to some of his people, right? Even in their captivity. But keep reading.
And sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Right. So he sends rain on the just and the unjust. Meaning sometimes just because we're just, right? Just because we're upright people, that doesn't mean that rain is not coming our way, right? We see that with Joseph. In the end, Joseph had a very blessed life. But before that, he was being bruised just like Christ. He was being afflicted just like Christ. He was being accused wrongfully just like Christ. But the Most High, through him keeping his integrity, fleeing the scene of fornication, him enduring the hatred of his brother, right? Which we got to do all the time. We got to flee fornication. We got to endure the hatred of our brother, the evil eye towards our brother, black on black crime, right? Even when he did that, he kept his integrity. So God gave him favor. It said that he had favor with the guard shacks, right? He had favor towards the end when it came back to his brothers who sold him, right? Also, we see that with Daniel. We see that with Daniel. Daniel had favor. He had excellence, right? The sun shined upon Daniel, and he was in his captivity. The king blessed him because of the talent that God gave him. But guess what? He was still sent to that lion's den, right? So guess what? The rain is going to come whether you're keeping the commandments or not. But guess what? That does not stop you from keeping the commandments. It don't stop you from doing the work. It don't stop you from reading. It don't stop you from studying. It don't stop you from praying and fasting. We can't let the affairs of this life, right, be a inconvenience or a distraction from what we're supposed to be doing. Because guess what? The Most High is looking at it like, man, I put a little something in the road. I thought he was going to stay the course, but now he's making a detour. He stopped at the gas station when he knows he's supposed to be at this destination at this certain time, right? Some people drive for Amazon, right? And Amazon, they track you on your phone, right? I've driven for Amazon before. They track you on your phone. So they know when you're supposed to get to the destination and when you're not. So if I'm supposed to be going straight, right, but a car accident happens or I lose a tire or X, Y, and Z happens, right? Guess what? They're going to know when I stop. And they're going to know that, okay, he pulled over to the side. Okay, he didn't Salakia. He's off course. They're going to know that. So God is looking down like, look, you're off course. Just because that happened don't mean you stop going. If you gotta make a pit stop for gas, do that, but get back on track, right? And if something does happen, you're supposed to notify Amazon. So if something happens in your life, guess what? That's when you're supposed to pray. That's when you're supposed to fast. Let God know that it's, you know what I'm saying? And when you pray and fast, consequently, you're doing the work.
Right. As Israelites, man, having integrity, man, is I would say for us, man, it's not an easy thing to do. That's why we have to be stored up on faith, right? Hebrews 11:1 will tell us that, hey, look, we're going to have integrity even for the things that are unseen, right? We don't know when our finish line is going to come up, right? We don't know when we're going to die. We don't know when Christ is coming back, but we have to maintain this integrity. And the only way we can do this is by storing up our faith. What does storing up our faith look like? And I use this analogy, I think, the other week, man, but it's just like playing a game, right? When you got a big championship game coming up, you got X amount of practices before that. It's your integrity that keeps you in tune in those practices, right? Doing the proper things, right? And so the same thing with storing up your faith, right?
What do the coaches always say? Coaches say, it's the little things
it's the
that
little
count.
thing that matter,
right? They're always saying, look, you trying to wait for them scouts to come look for you. They're not going to notice the person that's hogging the ball. They're going to notice the person that's doing the hustle plays, the person that's making free throws, the person that's going the extra mile for his teammate.
Even your attitude, right? Your attitude on the bench.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And when you get benched as a player, you know what I'm saying? You want to play, you have to keep your integrity to stay on that team.
Right. And so when you look at these little obstacles, like if you haven't been tried, you know what I'm saying, that much in this truth, believe me, it's coming, right? But if you haven't been trying, this is the perfect time to build up your integrity and build up your faith, right? Because that's like your game day. Right. That is legit your game day. And so when the game day comes, you don't want to be frantic, right? And check yourself out the game. You know what I'm saying? Right.
When the game day, you should be supposed to notice, this is the time where I'm supposed to hold fast, where I'm supposed to really, you know what I'm saying? What it said, it pleased him to be bruised.
Right.
Like you're supposed to be like, okay, this is the moment right here, right? This is where I solidify my spot on the team.
I'm not gonna stray off of the course. I'm gonna do the right things, right? I'm gonna get to the help defense, right? I'm gonna get my outlet passes, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure
I'm gonna talk.
I'm gonna make sure I talk. I'm vocalized, right? And this truth, what does it look like? Okay, if I was doing X, Y, and Z before this obstacle came, I gotta do X, Y, and Z while I'm in the obstacle. I gotta still read every day. I still gotta teach, right? I still gotta share alms and whatnot and do good works and whatnot. It's all a part of keeping integrity and keeping the faith, man.
You got something?
So like, can I read my favorite precept?
Yeah.
This is Sirach 2:2.
Speak up some more.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and verse 2. And it reads, set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble, right? And if you jump down to verse 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So that, I was just talking to my rib this morning about what we going through and how we got to, you know what I'm saying, focus on the little things that matter when you're going through trial and tribulation. Because, like you say, everybody gonna go through it, you know what I'm saying? But it's about your mindset when you're going through it. It's easy to think like, the Lord's not here for me, the Lord's not dealing with me. It's easy to resort to that state of, you know what I'm saying, that state of, well, I gotta get it by any means, no matter if I gotta sin to get it, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to resort to that when you're going through, because that's what the enemy wants you to think. But in the time of trouble, this is why the Lord said you shouldn't make haste. Because a lot of people utter something out their mouth and get themselves into something that they behind can't get them out of. So you definitely gotta set your heart right, constantly door, and when something is brought upon you, and you brought to a lower state, you gotta count it all joy.
Take it cheerfully.
Take it cheerfully.
That's two points of that passage that I always stuck to is don't make haste and take it cheerfully, bro. Because those are the two hardest things to do when you're going through.
Yes, bro.
As soon as something bad happens, you get bad news. You trying to figure out how I can deal with this fast. Like, okay, I lost my job. Well, I'm applying to jobs. I'm talking to old people that I used to talk to, like that old employees. I'm trying to scam. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z to get money fast. And then you're not even taking it cheerfully. It's causing you to be depressed. Right. So those two things right there is a big part of keeping your integrity, man.
Right. You gotta take it on cheerfully, like that last game shot, right? It takes a special individual to want to take that last game shot, right? I joke all the time. I don't think LeBron James ever wants to take the last shot. He might be forced into it, but you got certain players that want to take it, like put it all on me. Just like King David. What did King David say? Search me, O Lord. Try me.
Try my reign.
Try me.
Right.
He said, hey, let me see what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Try
And that's a mighty thing to say, because
that's a mighty prayer.
A lot of people don't understand, like, you're talking to the Most High God when you say this, so he knows exactly which areas to try you in.
And look, I'll be trying to test my integrity too, and I reflect on that prayer, and I say that prayer. I'm not gonna lie, I don't say it every night, because that's a tough prayer.
Every idle word, you know what I'm saying?
That's a tough prayer.
He'll hold you accountable for that.
And so when he said, "Try my reins," you know, even when I do pray it, man, I'm slick kind of scared, because it's like he gonna try your reign. He gonna try you. He gonna try you, and it's not gonna be a good feeling.
Just for how he looked at just taking a look at Job, bro. Right? If you say try, if you ask the Lord to try you, bro, and he tries you, you know what I'm saying? You got to be prepared for what's coming your way.
And you know that's a blessing though in itself because you know we're happy when prayers get answered. We're like, yeah, God dealing with me, or nothing but the Most High, or all praise to God. But also when you ask him to try your reins, you got to take it cheerfully because God dealing with you. You asked for it.
I remember in the world, man, it's a testimony for me because it happened, right? And even in the world, I had a prayer life, right? A so-called prayer life. And I asked God, I was like, I know everybody goes through a major point in their life, a climax in their life where they have to go through something. I told God, I said, if you could, you know what I'm saying, hurry up and give me mine, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, just to get it out of the way, you know. I don't know what type of mind frame I was in at that time, but lo and behold, a year later, man, to this day, man, 2016 was probably the worst year of my life in every aspect of my life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was from family to finance to relationships to vanity, you know what I'm saying? 2016 was my worst year, and I believe it was because I prayed that prayer. You know what I'm saying? So even in the world, every idle word counts.
Right. And so the Bible just said he makes his sun rise on the just and the unjust, and lets it rain on the just and the unjust. So what does that look like? I was talking to the brothers earlier today, and I was saying, man, it was a scripture. I mean, it was a lyric by a brother in a song, and he was like, it was a lyric by a brother in a song, and he was like, I went from $6,000 every month to $200. And that's, man, you getting, the sun is on you, you think you're good, man, you're doing well for your life and your family, and then out of nowhere, it's just rain. Can you stand the rain? You know what I'm saying? Can you stand it?
Hey, look, one thing too, Salaki, you can't stop the rain either.
You can't stop the rain. You can't stop it, bro.
Yeah, you don't even know about that, bro.
You can't stop the rain.
You don't even
stop
know.
the rain.
You didn't even watch this show, bro.
You can't stop the rain. Yeah, I know. But anyway,
you don't even know. You don't know.
Hey, Shalom.
You can't stop the rain.
WF5, Shalom. But
Shalom.
You can't stop the rain, you know what I'm saying? And can you stand the rain? It's all about integrity, you know what I'm saying? So let's go to Daniel 3:17.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 3 and verse 17.
Because we went, Job had integrity, Christ had integrity. Let's look at who else had integrity, right? Read.
If it be so, our God, whom we serve,
who's talking? Salakia. Who's talking right now? The 3 Hebrew boys, right? Their names were changed to a captivity name of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? But we know them as Mishael, Azariah, and Hananiah. Keep reading.
If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace.
Salakia. Yeah, Khan, W5 ATL. You know what I'm saying? Looking forward to that Unity camp. But keep reading.
If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king.
Right. So the 3 Hebrew boys was keeping their integrity. They left with an ultimatum. They told the king, hey, look, ain't no ultimatum. You already know what you asking us to do is not finna happen. Right? It's not finna happen. So even if our God doesn't deliver us from you, you know what I'm saying? We're still going to serve him because we know he has the power to deliver us from you. Right. So they kept their integrity. And guess what? That rain kept coming. You can't stop the rain. They got through into the fiery furnace. But because they took the rain cheerfully, and because they didn't make haste in their time of trouble, and they didn't say, oh, we'll bow to you, King of Babylon, we'll bow to you. Because they didn't make haste and they took it cheerfully, like Sirach says, when they got to the worst part of their storm in their rain, they were saved out of it. Right. They were saved out of the fiery furnace. And it's like the fiery furnace.
And the crazy part is, man, with integrity, man, it's like having faith, man, but it's all a risk factor, man. It's all like taking a risk, right? Doing the little things that matter, right? Holding fast to the truth, even when you don't realize, even if you don't think it's convenient or gonna benefit you in any way. Just like in a game, right? You're banking on, listen, your coach tells you to do something, and you're banking on the fact that, man, if I just make all my free throws, man, if I take a charge this game, man, if I play help defense this game, right, we can win, right? You banking on the little things mattering down the line, right? But it's the only way to figure it out if it actually matters, right, is if you actually have the integrity enough to do it.
Right.
And that's another thing, just like in football, right? When Nick Saban and them go down, You know what I'm saying? They stick to their integrity, what they know how to do best, right? They don't panic, right? They do the little things that they always do, and they always end up coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the integrity, it's the little things that matter.
Right.
And Salaki, can I say something else?
Come on.
One thing that ties into this too is when we was talking in the truck, when we was on the way back to ATL, we was talking like people read about stuff in the Bible happening, and then when it actually happens, then they kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Like when you read about going through affliction, you read about staying mighty, you read about staying in the spirit during all the afflictions and going through all the trials and tribulations. You read about it and you try to apply it to your life until you actually hit with it. And now people are like, oh, well, stuff that hit the fan, now I don't know what to do. You kind of look at dumbfounded, like, as if this couldn't happen to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just one of them things you got to be ready, like you say, like going back to what it said earlier. You got to be ready for the rain to come because it rains on the just and the unjust. You know what I'm saying? And being that you can't stop it, what are you going to do to prepare for it? Because when it comes, if you make haste, you're going to be looking foolish. You ain't going to be a man or a woman or of integrity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's one of them things like you got to have integrity going through, whether it be the Lord's plan to deliver you or whether it not be the Lord's plan to deliver you. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be faithful.
Right. And you know, us being Israelites, even though the world's going out and we know people are going to hate us, one thing they should know is that we're going to keep our integrity. You know what I'm saying? When they see us in these stores and they see us at these gas stations and a crime goes on, when they see these fringes and they see, oh, they might hate other nations. They might hate other nations. They might have multiple wives. They might have X, Y, and Z. But one thing they should come to their mind is, hey, that brother, that sister keeps integrity. We don't have to check them. They don't have nothing. That should come to their mind every time.
That's another thing, man. That's something that's comforting, knowing, you know what I'm saying, you can, when you're fellowshipping with like-minded people, brothers and sisters in this truth, right? It brings on a sense of comfort to your nation when you know you can go amongst your people and no one's gonna look at your girl sideways or look at your girl's butt or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No one's gonna steal your wallet.
Yeah, steal your wallet. If they find your wallet, they're gonna have integrity and be like, hey bro, you dropped your wallet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It brings a sense of comfort and a togetherness to our nation if we just do what? The law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
And have integrity to do so.
That goes into the next example. So we said the 3 Hebrew boys, Job and Christ. Now we're going to read about Joshua and Jericho, right? So Joshua, start at verse 1.
This is the book of Joshua chapter 6 and verse 1. Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in.
Right.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, see, I have given into thy hand Jericho and the king thereof.
Right, because the Israelites, they was really kind of causing havoc and taking lands from people, going into wars. And right, Jericho thought they was going to shut up their walls so that, you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't be taken care of. But the Most High said, I'm delivering these people into your hands, even though they want to hide behind their walls. Right, so keep reading.
And the mighty men of valor, and ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days, and 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns.
Right.
And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow with the trumpets.
Right. You know that song by The Rock, 300 men, 300 trumpets, 7 priests with ephods, cry loud, spare not, blow the trumpet. That's coming from this, right? So check this out. There was 300 men and the nation of people, and there were 7 priests. And guess what? They was charged from the Most High to walk around this city of Jericho 1 time a day, right? But if they took a break, if they said, nah, this not going to work, guess what? If they didn't keep their integrity, if they rebelled against the Most High and said, nah, nothing's going to happen. This is the 5th day. I still don't think this is going to do nothing, right? They would have lost their integrity and they wouldn't have got the victory, right? Keep reading a little more.
Verse 5, and it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn and the trumpet, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up every man straight before him.
Right. So guess what? They had to keep their integrity. So we just went about how, as individuals, it helps the nation if all of us keep our integrity. As people walking around Jericho, this wicked kingdom that we're in today, we have to keep our integrity and we have to hold our peace, right? If you go down to you just read that. Right? Go to verse 8.
Verse number 8. And it came to pass when Joshua had spoken unto the people that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of the ram's horns passed on before the Lord and blew with the trumpets.
Hold up.
Salakia.
Salakia. 1 second. All right, verse 10. So this is part of keeping the integrity. And I did a fun fact video on my personal page about this, right? This is verse 10.
Verse 10. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout.
Right.
Then shall ye shout.
So guess what? He said, the Most High said, hey, look, go around this city 6 times, and on the 7th time, everybody's going to shout. The men of the Lord are going to blow their trumpets, and the walls are going to come down. So we got to keep our integrity. So to make sure that happened, Joshua, right, commanded the people to not say nothing for 6 days. So I know a lot of people was thinking like, well, how can the walls fall down just after shouting and trumpets, right? But they wasn't saying nothing for 6 days. That's a lot to be bottled up. They kept their integrity. None of them were giving their doubt because they were quiet. None of them could offer up a rebellion plan because they were quiet. They kept their integrity. So even though we're being abused, right, walking around, our feet are sore, walking around with doubt, even though we're being bruised and offended and afflicted, we have to keep our integrity and be silent.
Right, man. It's just like this, man. You never know what the little things do, man. If they were to not have integrity and somebody were to utter a word or something like that, who knows? They might would have not been loud enough for the walls to come down on that 7th day, right?
And so what I'm saying? We don't know when our 7th day is gonna be, so we have to endure this quiet state right now that we're at, right, until that 7th day when he says, hey, look, blow the trumpet.
Right. Back in the world, when we played basketball, man, on our basketball team in high school, we had nights called Silent Night, man, right? And so everybody in the gym was supposed to be quiet until the 10th point was scored by the home team, which is us, right? It would make no sense for do the Silent Night if people didn't keep the integrity enough to be silent until the 10th point. But best believe every time we did it and we got to that 10th point and the crowd erupted, right? Our bench got up, started clapping and whatnot. We took off. We went from like 10 to like 20 something in like 2 minutes, right? Right. And it's almost hand in hand with the same Jericho, the wall story.
And I'm led to believe a coach got that from the book of Jericho, bro. Keep silent, and then, you know what I'm saying, let the trumpets blast, and you're going to get your salvation. Right?
Slaki, I was going to say, it's just like that story in Maccabees. First Maccabees 2, when it talks about the Jews that were killed on the Sabbath.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they broke the king's commandments.
Right.
And then the king was like, all right, I'm going to make war against you. If I'm gonna kill you if you don't come do what I say.
Right.
And they was like, well, let us die in our innocency, and you know what I'm saying, heaven and earth gonna testify that we didn't do nothing wrong and that y'all slew us for no reason.
Right.
And
because they had God to answer from and not just man.
Right. We also obey God rather than man.
Right.
So they end up just saying like, look, we'll die. And they chose death over breaking the Most High God's commandments. So they ultimately kept their integrity even into death.
Right.
Because they was like, we'd rather die than transgress the law.
Right. Not only that, what about the woman that sat there and watched her kids get dismembered and killed?
Right.
Exactly.
Both of those go straight into this next one, the last one I'm finna go into, right? In 2 Maccabees chapter 6, we're gonna talk about Eleazar, that old man, right?
That's one of King Maccabees' son.
Right. And so guess what? His closing statement, or the last statement, is what we're finna read, right? And pretty much he left that as an example for all of us. And it was basically keep your integrity, right? So he just went over how they died to keep the Sabbath day. He just went over how they died not to eat pork. They kept their integrity unto death. And the 3 Hebrew boys said Job said he's gonna keep his integrity until death, right? So let's get 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 26.
You said 6 and 26?
Yeah, 6 and 26. These are going to be the closing statements of the old man, because we know the old man, they told him to eat pork in front of all his people, because they was like, this man has a good reputation. If we get him to do it, pretty much butt breaking. If he get him to do it, everybody else gonna follow suit. And then they told him, guess what? It's not even gonna be pork. You just gotta do it for the show. So we have a lot of wicked celebrities now that don't keep their integrity, and they'll do stuff on TV, and they're really not doing it, right?
This is the book of 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 26.
Right.
For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men.
Right. So the men told him, guess what? It's not even going to be pork, right? We're going to give you some fish, and it's lawful for you. We just need you to do this in front of your people to accomplish our goals. So he was like, even though they're giving me a break, right? Keep reading.
Yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead.
So that's what the people were doing with that brother brought out. You know what I'm saying? You can't escape the hands of the Almighty. So they knew that this physical life is just one part of living, but the second part of living is the Almighty. And he has all power to cast you into eternal judgment, right? So he was like, guess what? You can spare me, but the Most High is not going to spare me. Whether I'm alive or dead, I got to listen to him, right? Keep reading. 27.
Verse 27. Wherefore now manfully change.
Therefore now what?
Manfully.
Manfully. It's a manful thing. It's a woman. You're a real man. You're a real woman, right? If you keep your integrity. Keep reading.
Changing this life, I will show myself such a one as mine age requireth.
Right. It doesn't matter how old you are. You have to show your integrity. Keep reading.
And leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws.
Right. So he said, guess what? Because of my age, I'm going to set an example that I'm not going to move. I'm going to keep my integrity for others. So us being in this truth, we got to keep our integrity for others, man. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. Hopefully somebody was edified by the brothers here tonight. Shalom.
Shalom.